Okay, here we go. I'm about to give you the full tour of my 2010 Toyota Corolla micro camper. Alright, so I'm gonna start at the kitchen. So this is my kitchen area right here. So here we have our little stove, which fits perfectly in this piece of wood I built. It's just literally some scrap wood I had around the house, and then I just cut it, stained it, put it together with some pocket holes, and that's pretty much it. Here's the pantry, which is the glove compartment. Now, the reason I took the glove compartment off is because I'm 6'1". So in order for me to lay across without having to put my feet into the trunk or something, I had to put my feet somewhere. So as you can see, my feet go into that small space there in the glove compartment. And it's actually more space than what you can see. But it's really comfortable actually, since I don't really move my feet much at night when I'm sleeping. It works for me. But again, back to the kitchen. So here's the kitchen. Here's my little trash can. I got this from the dollar store. My goal was to pretty much keep everything as budget friendly as I could. So everything that you see here was it was a decent price. No more than, actually the most expensive thing that you see here is pretty much the stove. And that one was $50. And the reason why I went with this stove is because it takes butane and propane. So it comes with a little hose, adapter hose to use propane. And I like using that, I use that especially when I cooked outside, like when I was camping at the state park in New York. I used the butane outside instead of the little, I used the mini propane 1-pound tank instead of the butane. But when I'm cooking inside, I use the butane because it's small, it's easy to put in there and to take off. So this is the little stove that I use. It pretty much comes with I'll do a full review of all this stuff maybe. If you guys are interested, I'll do a full review of everything that I have here. But I also have this little fan here. This fan is amazing. I mean, it's got so much flexibility. Not only that, it's USB powered, or it has a built-in battery that you can charge, which is normally what I did. I would put it to charge. And it has 3 speeds. And I don't know if you can hear it, man, but I mean, this puts out some air. So it's awesome because there were a couple of nights when it was pretty hot outside. So I just had this little guy on, and that kept me cool throughout the night. I didn't have to worry about being hot or anything. So that's the little fan. Back to this side. You guys will see me use this a lot. This is a little spray bottle. I use it. It has 2 modes. It has a spray function and a stream function. And to me that was very important, because the stream function, I use it a lot to clean things, such as like dirt from my camping chair, etc. And the spray function, I use it even to brush my teeth. I just sprayed it into my mouth and it gets pretty much all the toothpaste without using too much water. I mean, I literally used pretty much one of these in the entire camping trip. Then I refilled it, but I didn't use it all, and I didn't refill it all the way up either. So I normally keep 1 gallon jug here, and I got the baby one from Walmart because it's $1, and it said it was distilled, and a guy from work told me that distilled water is better for you. So I don't know, I figure I will listen to him. So here's moving that out of the way. There's a little bungee cord that pretty much holds the butane, and it holds the soap to do dishes. Now the sink is this little bucket here, and I'll pull that out in a little bit and I'll show you how that works. But pretty much it's a little bucket that I had laying around. The basket itself also, I got it from my sister. I think she has a restaurant, so I think it comes with some vegetables that she gets. The basket comes in, and maybe the vegetables come in the basket, so she was gonna throw them away. I told her to give me a couple of them, and that's what I used. So in the sink area, I keep my dishes that I used to cook with. So this is my number one cooking device, and I mean, I pretty much put this on the stove, and it's nested. It's a nested set. It's a camping set, backpacking set, and it has a little like a little frying pan and a little pot for boiling water, and it has a couple of other things inside here. Let me show you so you can see what's in it. But I use this like all throughout my camping. So it has this little lid, and then again inside it comes with these two little bowls that I didn't use at all. It comes with this little doodad. I don't know what it's called because I don't cook often, and it came with this little wooden thingy-majiggy, which I used a lot for like cooking eggs. So here you go. Here's that little. So this thing I use non-stop to boil water, whether it was for like a soup or my coffee or whatever. And this I used to, like cook eggs, whatever, bacon, whatever else I needed to use. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention is that this thing actually also came with two sporks. Now in the Corolla right now, I only have one. The other one I gave it to my 4-year-old son because he always seems to need a fork and a spoon at the same time. So the spork is freaking awesome for him for eating mac and cheese, soup, whatever, spaghetti, whatever mom cooks for him. This little guy also I used a lot. I think this little pot was $4 at Walmart when I bought it, and this thing on top, this red thing, is actually a collapsible cup, and I use it a lot also because for water, coffee, or just whatever, so you can there's always a need for some sort of cup. And the cool thing about it is that this is like some sort of like rubbery material, so it's like non-slip. So normally when I'm driving and I just brew some coffee, I normally put the coffee in this thermos, also from Walmart. This was a gift from my mom for Christmas. It keeps things hot forever. And I also use this at work. You probably have seen it there for those that are watching this from work. And but anyways, I put this on top, and then now it doesn't move. I mean, I can go around curves and all that stuff. And I mean, dude, there were like some insane curves. And this guy will keep this pretty steady. And not only that, they work in conjunction very well because you put this on the top and then you just press it a little bit to squeeze some of the air out. And then look at this. Now it keeps it covered so nothing gets in there, stays clean and ready to go at a moment's notice. So that's that. I'll show you the sink last because I'll have to pull it out and move all this stuff out of the way. But anyways, moving on. This is my solar charge controller. This thing is a piece of crap. I got it because it has these two USB ports. However, at one point during the trip, the freaking USB ports came out, and so then I had to take this entire thing apart and then try to fix it. I sort of fixed it. It still doesn't work well, so I'm gonna have to take it apart again and solder it. It's just, they did not do a good job building this thing. I mean, it was cheap too, so I guess you get what you paid for. But I mean, it's been charging the battery and maintaining it, so it's been doing its job. Besides that, right below it, I have now this thing right here. I got this from the dollar store. This thing is freaking awesome also, because what it is just a USB charger. You put in 2 AA batteries, and then you can plug in anything to charge it. Since that thing died, I use this now for my lights. So this is pretty much those lights that you see all around the Corolla are being powered by this little battery pack, and I did not have to replace the batteries. And what's cool about the lights and that little controller and that little thingamajiggy there is like a USB port, is that I'll show you. So my Corolla comes with this other compartment. Here's where I keep my Bose speaker. Now I need that because I gotta have my jams. I always gotta play music. But here's a controller that it came with. So normally at night I just put this next to this by my headrest, and then now I can control the lights. You know, you can increase the intensity, decrease the intensity. I mean, let me show you. So here I decreased it, and I'm gonna increase it. You can change the settings. Normally at night I keep it steady like this. Right now for show and tell, I'm having them blinking around, but it's got all these settings that you can change. Some of them which are pretty obnoxious, like this one. I mean, I don't know why you would want to use it inside the car, but if that's what you're into, then that's what you're into. But anyways, for show and tell, these little twinkly lights look pretty cool, I think. So I just pretty much, if you look closely, I just tucked them in around the molding, all the way around. And the reason why I did that is because I didn't want them on the way. Now here in the back, I couldn't really tuck them in, so they're still on the way. And a lot of times I have to like I'll hit them and they'll come undone a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. So anyways, putting this back. So moving on, so that's the front pretty much. The other thing that I have on the front is that little mat that came also from the dollar store. It's a mat that you put normally in the drawer where you keep all your forks and spoons so things don't move around. I put it up there because that keeps pretty much anything that I put up there from falling off when I'm driving, especially on all the windy roads. So normally I keep, I have that battery pack up there. That's a solar slash, you know, plug-in battery pack. I mean, the solar is more just to maintain the charge when you don't have it plugged in. Because, I mean, let's face it, you buy a battery pack and, you know, batteries, they naturally drain on their own. So unless you always keep it, like, make sure that it's charged, you know, it's gonna die on you when you need it. So the reason why I got this one is because this way, you know, I know it's always charged, because the solar itself, as long as I keep it on the dashboard, will make sure that the batteries are always charged to capacity. So back to the battery and back to the power terminal stuff here. So there's my 750 watt inverter. This was also $50. I'll do a review on that later, but it's been pretty awesome. I mean, it's been charging things that I need when I need them. It also helped me charge the battery for my electric bike. And, you know, that takes a lot of power, so that was pretty awesome. Back here is where I keep pretty much my blanket. That's like a throw blanket that I just took from home before I left. You gotta be safe, especially if you're cooking inside, so I keep a carbon monoxide alarm here just to make sure the carbon monoxide levels stay in the safe zone. I have an extra pillow there, and then all that stuff pushes the flexible solar panels, a 100 watt solar panel, against my back mirror. I mean my back, my rear view glass pretty much. And then that allows me that when I'm driving, it'll keep charging my battery. I didn't want to mount it on the roof because I didn't want to make any holes. I didn't want to make any permanent modifications to the Corolla. I want to be able to take everything out and then just have a car again, you know, not have to worry about anything. So I got one of these travel packs from the dollar store also. It came with a toothpaste, flossing kit, and all that stuff that you need for on the road. This became amazingly handy. I mean, I used it non-stop. It looks like now it's falling apart, but it comes in this little pouch, you know, to keep everything tidy. Normally the toothbrush, I leave it out just to let it dry, but I just put it in there. I keep napkins back here. My entire trip, I didn't even use one roll of napkins, and I used napkins non-stop. And when I'm cooking, the napkins, actually I put them on my e-brake. You know, it just fits perfectly there. Now I can just grab what I need. But when I'm just driving around, I just keep them back here out of the way. If I need them, I pull over or whatever. Or if I need them, I put them somewhere in the back on the side where it's easy to access. Okay, so we're pretty much almost done. So I made these window coverings out of Reflectix that I had laying around in the house from when I finished the back room. And pretty much I just cut it so that I would be able to roll my windows down a little bit and allow for ventilation and privacy. And if you look through the outside, I mean, you can't even tell they're there. and if you really try to pick in, you can't see anything. So the other thing that I bought for the Corolla were these little guys here. These are not as good as I thought they were going to be, but they were cheap again, 50 bucks. And I have those just so that I can keep the windows rolled down a little bit without having to worry about rain or even people seeing me. So I just normally roll the window up like this, and you know, that's good enough. That allows for air circulation, etc. In here I keep a bunch of magnets and stuff, which is what I use to hold these things in place, because if I don't have those there and wind blows in, it catches in between the window and the reflectors and it blows it off. So again, closing this guy. Normally all my electronic cables and all that stuff, I just keep them in here. And then in here is where I keep, here's my spork, a fork, and a spoon, and baby wipes. Baby wipes I use non-stop, whether it was to the bathroom or whatever. I mean, those things are amazing. And I keep this little thing here. It doesn't have any Mentos, but these little containers are amazing. Inside I have some sanitizing wipes, courtesy of SNL. Don't tell anyone. I didn't take many, I promise. But yeah, so the wipes, everything stays in there. The wipes I keep in here because I use them a lot. You know, whether it's just to clean myself a little bit or whatever, since I don't actually have a shower. I mean, I had to pretty much either go to a gym or, you know, stuff like that. So that's pretty much it from the setup. I'll show you all the storage compartments next.